Okay, so we're doing a recap today because the last two lessons we covered a lot of stuff. So we're going to use only the tools we've learned so far to produce a new ring today. We're going to explain a little bit about gumball and perhaps throw in a little bit of information about history. All right. So we're going to pick what looks like a complicated ring but isn't. It's actually a very simple ring to draw. This one over here. Okay, because this is just curves, sweeps. We're going to put profiles on it, use gumball to change the direction of the profiles. We're going to mimic a little stone quickly. I'm also going to then cover a little bit about a loft on the end of it, okay? I'm just going to close the door because there's somebody hitting with a hammer in the back. Okay, so I just quickly went on Google and I looked for rings side view to get myself some inspiration to what I want to draw. I had a quick look here. All right. Also, while I'm in here, if you're watching YouTube, if you're not aware, if you're following the YouTube lessons, when you watch the video, just okay. So we're going to expand on yesterday's video on making a wedding band. Okay, so we're going to look at this ring over here. I'm going to grab this image as a side view, and we're going to talk about planning before you start drawing. Do you know what it is you want to draw? Okay, so let's do that first of all. I don't want that. I'm going to just snip this image, grab that, and save it to my desktop. So I'm just using the Windows snip tool for that. It's the Windows key and the Shift key and S. And then I'm going to save it to my desktop. Add a screenshot, and then we're going to bring it in as a reference image. So from the very first lesson we did, we used the picture tool. Okay. Yeah. We're going to find the image we just saved, which is this one over here, and we're just going to bring it in. All right. Okay. We oriented in the side view. We discussed yesterday why we use this front view or through finger, just because most customers use that. Most designers are used to this because Matrix uses this view as the side view. For today, I'm not going to really use this to draw off of. We're just going to talk about, first of all, planning when you want to draw, because if you don't have a plan, you're going to go wrong. If you can't decide whether you extruding, sweep 1, sweep 2, pipe, then you're going to be very frustrated because you're going to be trying to draw stuff over and over and over, and because you'll get up to 50% in a ring and then figure out you picked the wrong way to draw it. So when we look at this ring, there's a couple of different views of it. You can see from the top view that it has 4 claws. Let's just accept all the garbage. You've got 4 claws, so you've got a claw coming across here. They're coming up from the sweep. If we look at the other view, you see the band turns into this one claw over here. The band merges up here. Okay, so that band comes up and becomes one claw here, and becomes one claw here. All right. Then the in-between, if we can see it, you can see in this view a little bit better. You can see that you've got a little V shape that gets laid in between the prongs. Okay. So when we talk about the planning of a ring, how would you draw this?
Probably we'll separate 2 parts.
Yep.
Draw the shank first and put the V together. And
okay, so if you drew the shank, how would you do it?
I'm going to draw the shank. Draw a line first.
Yep.
Draw this sort of a line first.
So a line around here like this.
Yes, and sweep.
Yep.
There, right.
And then the other side? Just mirror the ring over, right?
And a V, right.
Okay, so that's as good as any a plan as there is. All right, so let's pull this in here. So the idea is we're going to draw a curve for, let's say, the right-hand side of the ring or the front of the ring. So we're going to draw a curve. It travels along here. Sorry, my mouse got a little bit stuck there. We're going to draw a curve along here.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to draw an outside curve along here for sweep 2.
Yeah.
Because you can see that the thickness of this changes. It becomes thinner up there.
Yeah.
We're going to put a profile on the curve, and then we're going to do a sweep along this to create this part.
Yeah.
All right, for the V, I think you can do the same thing. You can just draw a curve here. This can be a sweep 1 because the thickness stays the same. See up there, the thickness there and the thickness there is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So over here you can have an inside curve shaped like that. You put a profile on it, sweep 1.
Yeah.
The width Correct. The width of the bottom is going to be a little bit wider. So if we go back on their reference image, you can see that this over here to fit in there is probably a little bit wider. But let's see once we start drawing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so starting point for this is, you know what, I am going to orient it for us. I'm going to use 16.8 millimeters, which is roughly size M1/2.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to draw a circle.
Yeah.
Right, circle. Start of the circle is the middle of the
0.
world. 0 and enter.
Yeah.
Okay. On my command line, I'm currently set to diameter, which
Yeah.
is correct for jewelry. By default, for everybody else watching this video, Rhino starts with radius. And so if you typed in 16.8 now, you'd actually get 33.2. So how you change drawing in radius to drawing in diameter is just literally click on diameter. Okay, so now the number that you input will be a diameter instead of radius.
Yeah.
All right, so I want 16.8, which is always a good starting point for anything.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
I've got a question. How did you change from radius to diameter?
I just did it. I clicked it. So I'm going to draw a circle again. You need to follow along there. So let's go circle. Yep. Okay, center of the circle is here.
Yeah.
You see on the command line, I'm working in diameter. You click radius to work in radius. Or you click diameter to work in diameter.
Okay.
Okay.
Get it.
All right, so let's go to diameter and let's do that one again. So circle.
Yeah.
From 0, 16.8. So you can see that once you get used to working with it, it becomes really quick to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this ring over here, I'm just going to move over for a second. Can you remember from the very first lesson, how do we make this inside diameter of the circle match this inside of the diameter of the circle perfectly?
How to match? Split.
Split and then orient. Correct?
I remember we make the picture smaller.
Yep. So I'm going to make another circle. This time I'm going to use a 2-point circle. So in other words, I'll show you what a 2-point circle does. It starts on one side of the circle to another point instead of from the center outwards. Okay. So in this view, I'm going to zoom it in nice and big as I can. I'm going to try find the middle of this ring over here. I'm going to go circle. I'm going to go 2-point circle. And from roughly the middle over here, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to try grab it on the very inside of the ring. And I create another circle that matches our inside as close as I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Never going to get 100% perfect, but this is just a reference image. So we put that one down. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we can take this image and we can split it. Command is split.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we want to split with? We want to split with that curve.
Yeah.
Press enter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this we can now dump, and even we can dump the curve.
We can what?
We throw it away. Dump.
Okay.
Delete.
Okay.
Delete. Okay. So we're going to take that curve and delete that as well. So now we can do an orient because we have some quads inside here. So we have a north quad, a south quad. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this. I'm going to use the command orient.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, I'm going to type it properly. Okay.
Yeah.
Orient. We don't need to copy it because you may want to have copied it. In this case, we don't want to copy it. We do want to scale it. We want to make this thing that size. So we do want to scale. So we click yes to scale. Okay.
Yeah.
How do we want to scale? We want to scale 3D. We're going to scale evenly in every direction. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to need 2 reference points for this. So 2 points here and then 2 points here. So this is the first reference point, which I'm going to put on that quad.
Yes.
Then the second reference point is on this quad.
Yes.
Or mid, if you've got that tapped. Now, what's the target reference point? Very easy, because we've got a quad here.
Yeah.
And we've got a quad here.
Okay.
Okay, so now we've got this ring pretty much drawn exactly the right size we want, everything else we need. So we can grab this guy. I'm going to teach you a slightly advanced tool over here because we want to work through it with our curves. I need to make this a little bit transparent. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to first of all cut away the bits we don't need.
Okay.
Let's lock it. Remember how to lock?
Tap?
No. So the command lock. If you don't want to accidentally grab, shucks, I meant to grab the curve, but now this thing moved.
Okay.
All right. If we don't want that thing to move, you can run lock.
Okay.
Run the command lock.
Yeah.
And press enter. Now, you can't grab it anymore.
Okay.
If you want to be able to grab it, run unlock.
Okay.
Okay. We didn't really work with layers the other day,
yeah.
So I'm going to just explain a better way to do this. So by default, you come out with these 5 layers. A layer is what you're working on at the moment. At the moment, we're working on the default layer. All right. I'm going to take this layer over here. I'm going to grab this one at the bottom. I'm going to right click it.
Yeah.
I'm going to rename the layer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call it image. Okay.
Yeah.
You can give it any name you like.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this item. I'm going to go to that layer. I'm going to right click it. And I'm going to change the object layer. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to move this object onto this layer. Right. So now in the layer menu, when I no longer want to see that, I can just turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Without having to delete it or hide it or have it get lost in the system. All right, so the second thing I want to do with this thing is I want to be able to see through it to my grid, because at the moment it's in my way.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to highlight that item. I'm going to go to its material properties.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come over to properties. You see your first one is the object properties. The next one is the object's material properties.
Yeah.
I'm going to come all the way down here to where its transparency is.
Okay.
I'm going to move it over a little bit. Can you see that we're starting to be able to see through the object?
Yeah.
Right, because this is just a reference image. I want to be able to still see the background of this and be able to work through it and see my geometry. So when I'm happy with that, I can go back to my layers.
Yeah.
I can take this image and I can click the lock button.
Okay.
So this layer I can no longer select. That means when I'm drawing around it, I'm not going to have problems.
Okay.
All right. So this curve we're going to grab over here. We're going to say this is our curves layer. So I'm going to rename that. Rename layer.
Yeah.
I'm going to call this curves.
Yeah.
Okay, and then every curve I make, while I'm drawing curves, I'm going to move this curve to this layer. Change the object layer.
Okay.
See this little tick mark here?
Yeah.
This is which layer are we working on at the moment. So while we're drawing curves, we want to work on the curves layer. That means all new geometry we make will automatically come to this layer.
Okay.
It'll become more important once we start sweeping. All right?
Okay.
Okay, so your layer color, so you can know what you're working. Can you see that your curves are now blue?
Yeah.
So you can identify which curves you got.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make this shank curves and you wanted to make the collet curves a different color, then you could put them on a different layer.
Okay.
All right, so for now we want to do a sweep 2. We want to come around here. I'm going to recommend we do this in 1/2 instead of in 2 halves, and then use mirror to bring it over. All right. So our inside curve for now, I don't really need, because we're going to be creating a new curve. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to start drawing the center one. It looks like it's pretty much center. It looks like we need to come straight down for a bit, around, and then snap along this. So there's a new snap for you today called near.
Yeah.
All right. That means it'll snap to anything near. While you got that on, you probably want to turn a few of the others off.
Okay.
All right. So we do want to work exactly in the middle. So I'm going to draw a line from 0 straight up the middle. I'm going to hold shift to lock it orthogonally. All right. So now we've got a reference point to work from.
Okay.
I want to split this about here. Okay. Or you can just bring the point in. So this is the top of where I want to work to.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's start drawing. So I'm going to start a new curve. Now we haven't spoken about this, and it is critical that we cover it. When you look at the curves that you're drawing, you see that you have a lot of different kind of curves. All right.
Yeah.
Control point curves are not as smooth or clean as interpolated point curves.
Okay.
Right? So with this, you're drawing a point literally where you want the curve. With interp curves, see, where the point goes, the curve goes. Can you see that your point?
I didn't see the difference.
All right, so when you're drawing with this one,
yes.
Okay, let's dump it. Let's delete them, start again. So watch while I'm drawing.
Yeah.
All right. So over here, you've got a control point curve.
Yeah.
All right. See what's happening when I move the curve away? The control point staying there. The angle of the curve is a lot more kind of fluid. Okay, now watch when I use the other curve.
Yeah.
It stays on the point.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I get it.
So interp curve, to me, if you're following something exactly, you would use an interp curve, because you want that point to stay there. You don't want the curve to move away.
Yeah.
So let's try draw this with the wrong curve. Let's bring the curve menu out. Remember how you can bring it out? You just grab the top.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to use what I would call the wrong curve. We're going to use a control point curve. We're going to start from here. We're going to come down. You see already my problem? It doesn't want to stay, so I have to make another one there, and then
Have to make as
I have to
many
make a lot of
as-
them to make it try to stick to the right place.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you use this curve, you've got a lot more control over that. You can go, I want you over there, I want you over there, I want you to start coming out here, you there, and then let's start working. So now you can get a very smooth, let's go there, let's go there. Okay, so now, okay, I'm going to stop that curve. So now we're going to split this curve in half, exactly in half, because we want to mirror it later. We don't want to have problems, okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to take this curve.
Yeah.
We're going to split it.
Yeah.
With this curve. Okay, we're going to throw away the bit we don't need.
Yeah.
And we're going to throw away our little sacrificial center line.
Yeah.
So now we got this guy more or less. Oopsie, I didn't pull that one up. So let's grab you because we're on a split. Did you see what happened there? We ran a split and we forgot that there was a curve up at the top.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So now we've got the curve out, but you can see it's not 100% right, so we want to be able to edit it.
Just move?
Yeah, we've just got to move our curves around a little bit to make it look a little bit, smoother, cleaner. Let's move that one there. Let's move that one up there. So before you do your sweep, do this. All right?
Yeah.
And we will talk about history in just a second. So I think that that's probably okay. I'm going to delete this one. And when you delete a curve, you get a much smoother curve.
Yeah.
Okay. So always try to remove as many points as you can before you start a sweep, because you see that what happens, you get a very smooth movement. Okay, and then you move your curves around.
Yeah.
Until you got it right. If you've built something with too many curves, it generally will tend to come out very lumpy.
All right.
Okay. So I'm going to remove a couple of these curves. Okay, so again, remember yesterday when we worked, and the day before when we worked with a revolve instead of a sweep, and then the revolve had a lot less geometry.
Yeah.
I said to you that when you have a lot less geometry, your drawing tends to go a little bit easier.
More denser.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got the inside curve. We need an outside curve. How would I get a duplicate of this curve by exact distance to there?
Rotate?
Okay, so offset is a new command for today.
Okay.
Offset. Okay. And you can, if you click on the command line, through point, you can control how far you want it to be. So in our case, we want it to be more or less there. Okay?
Yeah.
So now we've got a duplicate curve. It's not 100% right, and it's not 100% right up there.
Yeah.
Now look at the problem. Ooh, millions of points.
Okay.
Imagine trying to move just this point, now it's lumpy.
Okay.
All right, so that leads us into probably one of the most important commands in Rhino.
Okay.
How many points has this thing got? Highlight the item, press what? Okay.
Okay.
And you can see over here that you have the number of points you have. You have 10 points in this item.
Yes.
Okay. Let's count the number of points in this item.
Okay.
48 of them.
Yeah.
So this item is really easy to control the flow of it, because you got to grab one point and you can kind of really change the aspect of the thing. You go like, oh yeah, that looks much better to me.
Yeah.
With this one, when you try to do that, because you've got too many points, you can't. All right. So we're going to use rebuild. We're going to grab the curve, new command, rebuild. Okay.
Offset to
create it. Do you want to do that again?
It's okay.
No, let's do it. So we're going to go offset.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to use through point. If you didn't want to use through point and you were looking for an offset of an exact distance, and you could type in 1.25 millimeter is the amount I want to offset. That would give you an exact 1.25 millimeter all over.
From here to here.
From there to there. Okay, in every direction. If you measured here, if you measured there, everywhere would be the same.
Okay.
Right? In our case, we want to come out to about here. So I'm just going to use through point, because remember, design for jewelry is quite organic.
Okay.
Right? So you're kind of feeling when you think that it's okay. And I'm feeling that this is not okay, actually, while we're in there. So I'm going to just do that. While we're in there, let me fix that. All right, and then bring that back in. All right, now let's do offset. Okay, so offset.
Yeah.
I want to go through point. I want to find probably my widest part of the shape, which is down here. And I want to put it there. I think that's about right.
Yeah.
But now that's all the thickness of the bottom. We want to bring it in at the top. We want
Yeah.
to taper it down. So, too many points?
Yeah.
Millions of points. We run the command rebuild.
Rebuild.
Okay.
Okay.
The inside one had 10 points, correct? Remember?
Yeah.
Our inside one had 10 points.
Yeah.
Now it's telling me there's 42 points here. How many points would you like? It's also telling me that this is a degree 3 curve. Would you like it to be a degree 2? This is purely up to you. Always work with degree 3 if you can.
Okay, degree 3. Okay.
And in our world, you'd prefer if you could get the inside to match the outside, so we're going to go to 10 curves. Now if you zoom back, it's showing you down the bottom here your maximum deviation. It says when I rebuilt this, at its biggest difference between the original curve and the other curve, it was 0.1. And there's two little red dots. See the two little red dots there?
Yeah.
It's saying that to get this down to 10 points, I had to change the shape of your curve by 0.1 millimeter at this point. This was the maximum deviation. You can see there's some other deviations here. We don't really care.
Okay.
Right? We just want to try to get these two to match.
Yeah.
We just click OK.
Okay.
And OK. All right.
Yeah.
So now we have a curve that's a lot more controllable.
Okay.
All right. So we want to bring this point in up the top here.
Yes.
I want to bring this point in kind of like that.
Yeah.
I want to bring that point back out a little bit over there.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think we're pretty much there.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So
maybe here a little bit narrow.
The joy of design. You can sit and tweak these things to your heart's content until you get it exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can do this now, or you can be smart and you can do this little thing that we haven't spoken about yet, and we will speak about today.
Record history.
Record history. Okay, so if we have a look at, let's bring the reference image back in.
Yeah.
This looks like a kind of over here it's a D shape. Remember we spoke about D shape the other day and why it's called D shape?
Because the shape is like D.
The profile is like a D, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people call it half round, and when it's D-shaped both sides, some people call it lozenge. Be aware if the words in this trade are bizarre.
Okay.
Right. But you can see that it kind of stays D-shaped. Actually, in fact, it stays D-shaped most of the way.
Yeah.
All right. But we're gonna use history now, and we're also going to teach you how to use the manipulator.
Manipulate.
Okay. This little guy over here, the little oh, where's he gone? The gumball.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Okay, so we got these guys at the bottom. I can close that little curve window.
Yeah.
I no longer need it.
Yeah.
I'm going to use this curve. I no longer need either, so I can dump it. All right.
Okay.
We just used it for something to snap onto to draw our original curves.
Yeah.
So looking in our side view, we now want a D shape at the bottom of this, so we want kind of a shape like that in this view here. Many ways to do this. I'm going to teach you a little trick way that I use. I draw a rectangle.
Yeah.
Remember we did this yesterday?
Yeah.
So I draw a rectangle starting from wherever. Come in this view, doesn't really matter where I'm going to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take those 2 points. I'm going to move them up until they snap. Oh, Control Z. My apologies. We're going to move them up. Oh, I told you that's why it's not happening. My end snap's not on. Why didn't you tell me my end snap's not on? So we're going to move from this point to my end over there.
Yeah.
So now,
do we need to turn on the quad?
Do we need to turn on the what?
The quadra?
Not for now, because I'm at an end.
Okay.
Remember, a circle has quads. If I needed the snap in the middle, I'd use quads.
Yeah.
But for now, I just need an end because I have an end here.
Okay.
Now I want to do another move from this mid. Mid is not on. From this mid.
Yeah. To
that end there, so that I've got it centered. Now imagine if there was a nice way that we could curve this downwards. Right?
Yeah.
But the problem is you don't have enough points. How do we make more points?
How do we make more points? Rebuild.
Rebuild. All right. But the problem is this is now already it's already joined. So I'm going to explode this curve.
Yeah.
To make a bunch of curves.
Yeah.
All right. I want to make this D shape. So I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to say that I need a few more points.
We learned about the command is called fillet.
Fillet?
A fillet.
Yeah, fillet's only going to do the corner for me. I want to make a whole D shape.
Okay.
All right, we will use fillet on the inside here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to rebuild this curve because I only have 2 points. Okay,
Yeah.
I need 4 points. So I'm going to rebuild. And I don't want 10 points this time, and I don't want 2, I want 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
4.
So I want 4 points there.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to give myself 5 points just because, you know,
Yeah.
I'm feeling happy with myself today. And I'm going to click OK. All right. So now when we turn on the edit points for these items, turn on an edit point, you press F10.
To what?
To
F10.
turn on edit points, you press F10. To get rid of edit points, you press escape twice. If I highlight just this curve, automatically Rhino gives me this curve's edit points. I want to see all these curves edit points. Rhino doesn't know what I want to do.
Yes.
So the way to force an edit point on, you can go over to the left-hand view here. You can go show edit points.
Okay.
The shortcut key for that is F10.
Okay, got it. F10.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm seeing the edit points for all 4 of these curves. So I'm going to grab that edit point, and I grab this edit point, which in fact I'm grabbing 2. I'm grabbing the end of this curve and the end of this curve. All right?
Yeah.
I'm going to move them like this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I have a nice D shape.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to grab this curve. I'm going to join them again.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to now do the fillet edge.
Yeah.
Fillet corner. So fillet, fillet.
Do we have to explode?
You can do fillet corner, which will find all the corners in something and put a fillet on it.
Okay.
It's like fillet, but it will look for all the sharp edges. Select the polycurve, enter, and the radius. Let's try 0.2 and see what we get. So you see that all those sharp edges, it rounded them off for me by the same amount. So I'm going to Control Z. If you didn't want to do that, and you only wanted to fillet this, okay, we're going to try fillet. I believe that they've changed this in Rhino 7.
Yeah.
Select the first curve and the second curve. No.
Doesn't change.
So you have to explode it. All right.
Yeah.
It grabbed this one. All right. So let's run it again. It did work. So let's grab this one and that one, and it didn't work. So uncontrollable. So explode your curves again.
Yeah.
All right. And this time you want to do it fillet.
Yeah.
With a radius of, I think, 0.25 is probably enough.
Yeah.
From here and here.
Yeah.
Right click to run the command again. Here to here.
Yeah.
Right. If you wanted to radius this sort of like, I think an 0.3 might look nice. You can either decide to use your edit points to do that.
Yeah.
Or fillet, whichever way you want to go. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to grab all of these together.
Yeah.
I'm going to join them again.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've got the base point of our shank.
Yeah.
And we're going to use sweep 2 to bring it up here, up to the top.
Question.
Yeah.
This one looks so wide.
Yeah.
Do we need to narrow it a little bit?
You can. That's called design. Let's first create the construct, and then we're going to now talk about, let's finish the second curve, and then we're going to talk about sweep with history.
Okay.
So we're going to take this guy over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a copy of it in place, or I'm going to type the word copy, or I'm going to use the command rotate with copy. The problem with Rhino, sometimes there's many different ways to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
What I'm intending to do is I'm intending to move this curve from here up to here. Okay. So I'm going to use a little trick. We've only used orient to orient images so far.
Okay.
Now I'm going to use orient to orient this curve. Okay. So I'm going to write the word orient.
Yeah.
Where's my 2 reference points? Here, on the bottom of this curve here.
Yeah.
And the top of the curve there.
Yeah.
And then I want to move it to there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This time, let's do that again slowly. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Orient is like a copy as well.
It's like a copy, but it scales when it copies. If you said copy, we didn't say copy. So you go orient, copy is yes, and scale is yes. We want to scale this thing as we bring it back up. Where do we want the base point to be? Here. Where's our second reference point? There.
Yeah.
Where's our base point? Here. There. And where's our second reference point? There.
Okay.
So now we have 2 different profiles.
Why here to here, not here to here? I mean,
Well,
why
what are you
vertical?
going to snap it to? So, okay, I'll ask the question, but you've got to, let's do this, let's delete that. Okay, so let's do it. I recommend you do this at home so we can make the lessons a bit quicker next time, but let's do it this way. So orient from here to here is my 2 points.
Yeah.
What am I orienting to here? Did I want the profile sideways? I wanted the profile oriented the same.
Okay.
And I have these 2 points here, and I have those 2 points there.
Yeah.
So let's dump that. So I want to orient this from the end of this line. It's already the right size and shape between these 2 lines.
Okay.
So that point to that point, which is the same as, you see over here, here's the end point of this line, end point of this line, end point of this line, and end point of that line.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so we're going to do the orient quickly. Then this is going to start getting fun for you, because we're going to use history to start fixing our stuff. All right, so orient.
Yeah.
You can go from the inside to the outside, or the outside to the inside, as long as you match that up here.
Okay, I get it.
So I'm starting on the inside curve.
Yeah.
And orient from that point to that point.
Yeah.
I started on the inside curve, so up here I'm going to start on the inside curve.
Okay.
This curve to that one.
Yeah.
All right. Enter to finish the command. Oopsie. All right, so now we kind of have what we want. I feel like that's too fat for a prong, and that might be too fat for the bottom. Yeah. We need a reference point, and we're going to create a diamond to make the reference point. So I'm going to take a new layer now.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to make a fake diamond. You can. Okay. I was busy when you came in. You can have a look at on the web. You'll find many different places you can download a mesh diamond. But for now, the people watching this video don't have plugins that make diamonds, so we're just going to fake out a diamond.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going to create a circle. First of all, I'm going to move to this layer. I'm going to call this diamond. I'm going to rename it.
Yeah.
That's going to be our diamond. And I'm going to say that I'm working on this layer. And you see that all new curves that come out now will be purple.
Yeah.
So I'm going to draw a circle.
Yeah.
Oops, see. From 0. All right. And I kind of want to draw it to that size. All right. So I might restart the circle command, and I might pick that end. And in this view, see in my top view, I'm dragging the circle out.
Yeah.
Oh, and I didn't snap to the middle. My apologies. What is this? Oh, that's our profile. I've got to snap to the right one. So circle. Let me make sure I snap the right thing. There. All right. So in this view, I'm dragging it out in the top view, but I'm looking in the side view once I'm the right size of the diamond. Okay. Yeah. So you can see that it's about there.
Yeah.
A little bit wider maybe. So I draw that circle. We're good with it. Now a diamond, when you look at the geometry of a diamond, it has a table. Yeah. It has a pavilion. It has a girdle. Yeah. It comes into a point about there. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take this curve. I'm going to Control C and Control V, or I could have used the command copy. I'm going to create a girdle. Yeah. I'm going to grab these two, move them down to roughly where the girdle is, something like that. Yeah. I'm going to take another curve, Control C and Control V, and then move it up. So this curve in the top view is going to be our table. Yeah. So let's take this and scale it in until it looks like it's about the size of the diamond table. Okay. And now we're going to create a point. No problem. We're going to create a point. I'm going to snap to the middle over here. Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to move the point down to where the tip of the, oops, let's grab just the point. Okay. And let's move it down to roughly where the tip of the diamond is. Okay. So now we have everything we need to make a diamond. Yeah. We're going to use the command loft. Loft. New command for you. Yeah. Loft means I want to create a surface. Okay, so let's talk about the two different ways. Remember yesterday how you said you weren't sure when to use revolve? Yeah. This is the time to use revolve. Okay. Now there's a faster way to use revolve. If you took a curve, no worries. So if you took a curve, let's turn our center snap on. Okay. You want to find the center of this. Right. No, it's your problem when you've got too many snaps on. Go for it. Let me pause. Okay, so we were busy showing you the different way to do this. Yeah. So I'm going to turn off. I'm going to turn on center, and I'm going to turn on point. Okay, and I'm going to turn off our blue layer because I'm snapping all over the show. I don't want to see the blue layer anymore.
Yeah.
I just want to be working my purple layer.
Yeah.
So I've got a point. I want to use a quad as well, all right, because I'm trying to find the edges of the circle. So I want to go from this point
Yeah.
to that quad,
Yeah.
to that quad, to that quad, to
Yeah.
the center. All right. So what I've done now is I've drawn a curve that describes
Yeah.
the edge of a diamond.
Yeah.
So two different ways to draw this diamond. You could have drawn this out yourself and then used a revolve,
Yeah.
or you could have drawn the curves and done a loft. Let's do them both ways.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use a revolve for now, for this curve. I'm going to revolve this curve that we drew. Center of the axis is 0, straight up, and enter. All right, so let's turn that on shaded.
Yeah.
So you kind of have that shape using a revolve.
Yeah.
All right. The other way to do it, remember I said Rhino's got a million ways to do something.
Yeah.
You can use a loft from this point to this point to this one to that point. When you press enter, notice what happens. Loft is busy drawing a revolve, but it gives you a few more options. You could have wanted to do it very loose.
Okay.
You could have wanted to do it very tight.
Yeah.
To make an organic, like maybe a cabochon or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you just want diamond straight sections.
Oh,
okay. Right, so when we do that,
we've
got to then cap it. So the command is cap to close holes. Cap it, and you're back to a diamond. It doesn't matter which way you got to the diamond. It really doesn't matter. All right. Okay. So let's talk about the second way to do it. When you do a revolve, make sure that you're always working exactly around the middle, because otherwise your diamond is going to have holes in it.
Okay.
Right? So we could have done, I'm going to turn on the near snap for now, okay? Because we want to be near to this line.
Yeah.
We're going to just take a dead straight line. We're going to go from here, there. We're going to use shift to lock. Okay. I'm going to come down here. Come shift to go straight down there, and then we're going to come down here and that. So this was also a valid way to do it. Now you can just revolve around 0, I don't know, to there. And you got the diamond. Okay. So that was making the diamond. I don't need the curves that we used to make it. I'm using a little shortcut, cell curve.
Cell curve.
Cell anything will select what you ask. So if I wanted to select polysurfaces, cell polysurf. If I wanted to select meshes, cell mesh. Okay. In this case, I want to select the curves that are on screen at the moment. So cell curve. And I just delete them. Okay. So I have my stone. It's on my curves. It's on my diamond layer. I want to go back to my curves layer now, and I want to lock my diamond layer. So I'm going to move this diamond down. I don't want to snap to the lock. I don't want to do anything with it. In fact, I want to probably make it just a little bit bigger for our example here. About there somewhere. All right, then I'm going to lock the diamond layer. Remember how we locked the image layer? Yes?
How did you make the diamond bigger?
With scale. All right, so with the manipulator, we're going to talk about it in 1 second, so just bear for a second.
Okay.
All right, so we need a reference point so we know for the next point how far these curves have to come out to fit the diamond. All right, and then we're going to do this lesson for the manipulator, for the gumball, what I just did with the scale and the move and how to control it. Okay, so if you wanted to work hard, you'd have figured out by now that you need to get these curves here, oopsie, Control Z, they don't come up to the middle of the ring. In fact, they come out to the side of the ring. They become the side claw. Let's look at our reference material again. All right, they got to come out. They're not in the middle.
Okay, this side.
Yeah, they need to come out here.
Okay.
All right, so there's different ways of doing this. I'm going to use history as our friend. This little thing over here that's been on the whole time. If it wasn't on, we couldn't do what we're about to do. But luckily, it was on, so we can. All right. I'm going to take this layer over here, the diamond. I'm going to unlock it quickly. I'm going to make it a little bit semi-transparent. How did we do that again? Go to the properties.
Material, right?
Use default material, whatever it is.
There is a
color. I can't change color. Why I can't change color? You know what? Never mind. Leave it for now. Lock. Let's lock the layer and let's continue with the lesson. I'll find out for you in a minute why that doesn't want to change. All right. So you can go to ghosted viewport. so you can see your items, or you can go to a wireframe viewport so you can see your items.
Yeah.
Right, so we want to do a sweep 2. Now this one's important. When you do this at home, your record history is not on by default. Make sure it's on. So you see this little guy down here?
Yeah.
You can turn it off.
Yeah.
And you can turn it on.
Yeah.
For what we're about to do now, make sure it's on.
Okay.
All right? So we're going to grab these 2 curves.
Yes.
I'm going to do a sweep 2. Okay.
Yes.
Select the rail shape. That's
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
And this one.
Yeah.
And press enter.
Yeah.
Remember what we said yesterday? Always make sure that
They're
you're
in same direction.
in the center and the same direction.
Yeah.
So it's on the bottom. It's touching the inside and it's facing this direction. It's on the inside.
I
need
direction.
my end snap over there. Okay. And they're both facing the same direction and they're both on the inside, so we can press enter.
Okay.
And we want to maintain height in this case.
Maintain height. Yes, and
Right.
thickness.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to go OK.
Yeah.
All right, now because we did this with history, all right, we can play with the profile rail.
Okay.
So I'm going to grab that rail up the top and I can move it now. See what happens?
Prove your history.
Make sure you got it right.
Yeah.
To where you want it to be.
Yeah.
Or you can grab the curve and the rail. You move just a little bit. Okay. In our case, just the rail is enough. Right. So we're going to grab the rail. We know that this has to be here, and we know that has to be a little bit smaller than it is now. So we're going to grab that. We're going to move it out here, halfway through the ring. Let's do this now, top view perhaps. All right. So we're going to move this out to there, like that. I think that's enough. And I'm okay with that. All right.
Yeah.
So now we can click OK.
Yeah.
What we've done is we've created this sweep moving in this direction.
Yeah.
So we now know where the rail is. We've had a quick look at where this can be. So now we can dump this curvature. Control Z. Control Z. We want to bring, my apologies, we did want to bring the curve with it. Well, 2 different ways to do this. So the history way, which we just saw was a little bit awkward and didn't really want to play with us. We can grab these 2 curves.
Yeah.
Have a look at the endpoints here together with the rail. So we want to grab the rail together with that. We want to bring it out here to halfway through.
Oh, okay.
We want to bring that halfway through. We want to bring those ones halfway through. I'll bring these ones out just a little bit. Okay. That one. I'm just going to get them to line up nicely. So in your side view, you're kind of getting these to come up to there.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like this should probably come out a little bit here. F10 to turn on the edit point. Oh, excuse me, F10 to turn on the edit points. And then let's do a sweep.
Okay.
So again, we're going to sweep 2. All right. So we've got the point out here.
Yeah.
Let's grab those 2. Let's do a sweep 2.
Yeah.
From here to here.
Yeah.
Make sure our guy's on the inside rail.
Yeah.
Make sure he's on the inside rail. And
Yeah.
they're both facing the same direction. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we can play just a little bit with that sweep. Can you see that we've got a kind of a, did I turn on? No, I didn't. My bad. When you see that you've got this kind of wobbly thing going on,
yeah.
You see like it kind of looks like not great, right? Remember in your top view that we've now twisted this inside. So let's grab the outside curve. We need to move its edges straight out a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Remember, you're looking in this view too. Okay, and I think that probably that'll be okay now. Because it was just twisting it a little bit really badly before.
Yeah.
So in this view over here, you're good, your bottom is good. Now you can run a little magic command. You see how we've got a little bit lumpy at the moment?
Yeah.
You can run a command called fair.
Fair. Okay.
But watch what happens each time I clear the curve. Alright? Okay. See how it made it nice and smooth again?
Okay.
All we've got to do now is bring it back in. What fair does, it's like saying smooth the curves out for me.
Okay.
Alright, so that curve is nice and smooth. Let's fair the top curve. You see that top one? It's got like a kink and then comes down. You want to get it nice and smooth. So again, fair. I'm going to make the tolerance 0.5 this time. I'll explain what that means in a second. So I think that that's okay. Alright, so we're good now. I want to bring that out. Let's fix it up. We should have probably done this before we started our sweep. So my bad teacher.
No. Give me the chance to see. What do we?
Yeah. All right, so now we've got two curves that are looking a lot smoother to each other. They're looking a lot cleaner with each other.
Okay.
And I think that this guy has to be a little bit smaller, but let's do the sweep. Let's have a look. Sweep 2.
Yeah.
From you to you.
Yeah.
Make sure all on the inside. Are we? We are. Oh, it's really buggering with me. Don't maintain height. Okay, we're going to need another profile in the middle. So when things start going a little bit wonky like this, bring another profile to the middle. So we're going to do orient again. We're going to use quad. Okay?
Yeah.
Make sure quad snaps are on. We're going to grab this guy.
Yeah.
We're going to orient from here to here.
Yeah.
We're going to bring another one in at the quad. So from that quad to that quad. All right?
Okay.
So that'll keep that right for us. And I think let's orient another one in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this one we can scale inwards. Do I? No, I don't think we need one there, but we do need to scale this one in a little bit. All right, so remember you're asking about the manipulator. You're saying, how did I scale? So when you highlight the item, this is move.
Yes.
This is extrude, which we'll get to in a minute. That little square there, see that little square?
Yeah.
That's scale. So this guy we want to scale, so we're looking for the scale point. Can you see that you can scale it in that direction, which is red? You can scale it in that direction, which is green. And you can scale it in that direction, which is blue. But in blue, there's nothing to scale because it's a flat curve. So this guy we want to scale inwards like that. Okay. And we want to rotate it kind of like that to get it straight. And a little bit more maybe. Okay. All right, good. And then let's have a look at the top here. Because this guy is kind of coming up like that, it's giving us problems. So we're going to rotate it so it's kind of level to the curves. All right, and then in the side view, we're going to try this again. So I'm going to move these guys in. I'm going to move that guy in. Move that guy in a bit like that. Just until we're looking more or less smoothish. All right, let's try that again with 3.
Okay.
See if we win or not. All right, so sweep 2.
Yeah.
From you to, I think actually before we do that, this needs to be a little bit narrower. So I'm going to make that smaller like that. Okay. All right, let's do it again now. Sweep 2. From you to you. And now it's more important that we double check those arrows, right?
Yeah.
So make sure that arrow's in the middle.
Yeah.
Make sure that arrow is in the middle.
Yeah.
And then same with this one. Make sure it's in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. That's much better.
Yeah.
Have a look.
Yeah.
All right. So we needed a third profile inside there.
Yeah.
To give us that.
I think last time probably we didn't make it in the same direction.
Possible. It's possible. Okay. So once you got this, you can tweak just a little bit, all right, before it breaks history. So now we can take this guy and we can rotate it a little bit like that. We can bring it a little bit out. Can you see how now we can get it fitting to our stone a little better?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I think that that's probably okay where it is now. I'll scale it a little bit thinner because the prong's going to be a little bit thinner over there.
Yeah.
Are we still okay in terms of our shape? I think we are. All right, before we finish with this guy, we need to be a little bit over the middle. I'm going to let go of it. I'm going to grab it again. I just want to straighten it out. Now, the setters would not be happy with you if you only gave them that amount of material for the setting. So you want to, for manufacturing, you want to bring that up a bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Did we really screw up our view? Let's switch that to shaded. No, I think we're still okay.
Yeah.
I feel like for this inside curve over here,
A bit lumpy.
we can poke with it, yeah. And you see that
Yeah.
your sweep is updating because we've got history on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can play around with this until we get it perfectly aligned the way that we want.
Yeah.
I feel like the outside curve there needs to come in because this is too big. Let's bring that in a bit, let's bring it in a bit, let's bring it in a bit. Outside curve, let's bring that way a bit. You see, you could have struggled forever in the beginning to try to get these curves perfect.
Yeah.
Or because we had history, you can now play with them afterwards and have a look at your item.
Okay.
Let's talk about the rendered viewport for a minute. Okay, so I've got a rendered viewport for now.
Yeah.
And I like to do this in the color of the metal I'm going to work in because it gives me a better idea
Yeah.
of what we're doing.
Yeah.
All right, so you can see that this is super lumpy here. We're going to play with the curves in a minute.
Yeah.
But I want to first apply material to this. So I'm going to grab that item.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to go to our library.
Yeah.
I like to use satin instead of shiny, just
Yeah.
because it helps me to see detail. I'm going to take the gold and I'll
Yeah.
drop it on this material here.
Yes.
In this case, actually, it was white gold. Let's drop that on there.
Yeah.
And we're going to do something with history on again. I'm going to take that guy and I'm
Yeah.
going to mirror it around 0 with history. Okay. So now we've got a lot to work with. Now we can start looking at our curves here. We can say that this over here, the pinch needs to come in a bit more. You know, it's a little bit lumpy just at that point. That's the bottom one here, this curve. So work in this view.
Yeah.
And let's start having a look at what we're doing. All right, so now you can bring this in a little bit like that. Oh, that's looking better. We're getting a bit more fat shape. You see that? That's looking a bit better. In fact, I think we're not far off of what we need. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm now going to grab this and this. Okay. Remember, history must be selected. All right. Mirroring over 0. Okay.
Yeah. How
Nah.
did you do the mirror?
Okay, I typed the word mirror. You need to follow along there, right? So mirror.
Yeah. Yeah.
Select the objects you want to mirror. In this case, I want to grab that one and that one.
Yes.
All right. What do I want to mirror around? So you press enter.
Yeah.
We want to mirror around the middle of the world. What's the middle of the world?
Why?
Yeah, but how do you find middle?
0.
0 and enter.
Yeah.
Okay. Same for every command in Rhino.
Yeah.
We want to snap directly upwards, so shift and click.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so now you got this thing. Remember, you were saying before, I think that the middle of this is too fat, or the bottom of it is too fat. So this is the time to play with it. Because we
Yeah.
had history on that item, we can now bring our bottom in.
Okay.
Okay. See how we're looking at it here? We can see whether we got an issue or not. Good. I think we look good over there. We look a little bit not good over here. I'm not loving the middle. I've got to be honest with you. Okay, so I'm going to grab that curve and we're going to just try to straighten it out a little bit. And are we getting what we needed? It's a little bit lumpy, so the bottom is still too fat, I think. So we bring the bottom in a bit. Okay, I'm liking it a bit more now.
Okay.
All right. Along the top, we got this kind of weird kink thing going on over here. So let's look at our top profile. So I'm always working with the original curves we made. Where is it? There it is. Right, so that original curve, if we zoom in a bit in this view, let's look at that.
Yeah.
And let's try to straighten it out a bit so those two come towards each other. I think it'll pull them into each other a little bit, like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to get one prong up the top there. Okay,
Yeah.
now what I would do with this, I go to my layer menu and I go step 1, new layer, step 1.
Yeah.
All right. I highlight everything from this shank, or
Yeah.
just call it shank step 1 if you want, right?
Yeah.
Shank step 1. This is because if you screw something up, you can always come back here. So
Yeah.
with this shank, we're going to highlight everything we're working on to get this far. We're going to go to shank step 1. This time we're not going to move it.
Yeah.
We're going to copy it.
Okay.
So everything on the screen, we're going to copy onto another layer.
Yeah.
And we're going to turn that layer off. So if we buggered up something now, we can always go delete what we got, show the shank step layer, and start again.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how you use layers. All right.
Okay.
And when we get to step 2, so also there's a couple of things that break history. When I want to seal this, I'm going to use the command cap. When I use the command cap, history will be broken.
Okay.
So we're going to leave that until very last. All right. So we've got our image on the inside there. Can you see that we're looking all right? I feel like this. Let's have a look at his let's have a look at the source image. Actually, in fact, that is pretty much how it comes out. All right, so it just comes straight out from the edge. We don't really have an edge view, unfortunately, but it looks like from the side perspective that's just exactly how it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so it just comes out like that. I feel like it could have been nicer with this. Where's the curve gone? Where's our curve gone? There it is. I feel like the setters are going to be happier with you if you give them a little bit of meat like that and come up on a bit of a curvature. Okay?
Yeah.
Like so, and then also just bring that guy maybe up a little bit, and then let's find the outside curve and bring that out a little bit. Okay, so there. Are we good? Yep. Alright, so that's got a little bit of meat for the setter to set in. I'm going to bring all of these out, just a little bit like that. Alright, now I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Just means, now this is just from you'd have to, as you're learning to do this, you'd have to work with the setter, and he's going to go, oh, you didn't leave me enough metal, why you didn't leave me enough metal? So you'd speak to Merrick and he'd say, oh, you didn't give me enough metal, and you'll cry and gnash his teeth and carry on, right? So we've got this all good. I'm happy with everything we have here. So the shank I'm good with. I'm going to create, let's imagine that we're happy with the shank now.
Yeah.
So we're going to go create a new layer of shank. And you can call it shank happy if you like.
Yeah.
All right. And we're going to move all of these things on shank.
Yeah.
Change the object layer this time, and let's make the shank a different color. Let's make it I don't know, let's make it orange. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now we can turn the shank off because we want to work. So let's also turn that curve layer off. Actually, we want to be on the curve layer. So now we need to do a very easy one. This is sweep 1.
Yeah,
this is the easiest one ever. All right, so we're going to go to that interp curve. All right, that one that I like.
Yeah.
You can see our other curve is about up here. So I'm going to go kind of in there. I'm going to try to follow along the shape of it.
Yes.
And we're going to come down to that quad.
Okay.
All right, then I'm going to pull these in a little bit like that.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. I pull that up a little bit like that. No, you know what? We're going to boolean these together. So I'm going to grab that guy and I'm going to bring it out there. All right, I'm going to bring that out there. Done, done, done. Let's bring these in a little bit. Yep. Ask. I'm going to carry on drawing while you ask. Continue.
Why sometimes you use this one, sometimes you use this one?
Because I'm special. Keep saying there's many different roads to Rome with Rhino. There's no right way, there's no wrong way, there's just the way you do it.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go.
Good morning, Richard.
Morning.
Very good.
So we know that we want these things to kind of match each other. So I'm going to take this curve, I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to move the duplicate. Oops, wrong way. I'm going to move the duplicate to here, and I'm going to snap it. Right, so we're going to now snap it onto the end of that curve. Morning, Richard. Sorry. Morning. So we're going to take that curve, we're going to move it, enter.
Yes.
From there, let's turn off near. Near is an annoying snap. We want end on, I don't want point on, I don't want center on. We're going to snap it to the end there. All right. We can see that it has to be scaled a little bit bigger. All right. So we're going to scale. Let's go in our top view. Scale 1D this time. So scale is scale in every direction. Scale 1D is I only want to scale in one direction.
Yeah.
Okay. So on scale 1D from that end to that end, I want to bring it out with that. Scale from that end to that mid. I haven't got a mid snap on to that mid. There we go, or that quad. And we want to bring it out just a little bit fatter. I want to scale it out a little bit wider.
Yeah.
And I think that pretty much we're there. So how wide is this? Looks about right. All right. Remembering we have history. It doesn't matter. Sweep 1 also has history. Okay, so I'm kind of orient that straight a little bit like that. And we're going to do sweep 1. So we're going to grab that guy. We're going to do sweep 1.
Yeah.
With that profile.
Yeah.
We'll try and move it onto the middle just in case we need to do something with it later. And we're going to press enter.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we're pretty much okay there. So let's show our shank again. It's not in our way anymore. And they are touching, so yeah, nearly perfect.
Yeah, okay.
Nearly perfect. All right, so you can see over there, you got this. I feel like that probably, if you look at the size of that prong, let's have a look at his, so the viewers can follow along. These prongs are all, oh, these ones are actually a little bit thinner than these ones. Let's see if we can find a dead on top view. Okay, so the prongs I feel are a little bit fat. I feel like we've got to bring them in a little bit. Okay, if you were going to copy this exactly.
Okay.
Merrick would probably prefer that you made it a little bit heavier rather than thinner, and he can always take a little bit away.
Okay, yeah.
But if you've got to do a render for a customer,
yes,
you now have this size and that size pretty much the same.
Yeah.
This prong you can see is coming a little bit round, so we may want to edit point this and change your edit points.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab that edit point and this edit point. Okay, now let's talk about that scale manipulator again.
Yeah.
Can you see, you've got to look really carefully, can you see this little green thing there?
Yeah.
That means I want to scale those 2 points towards each other, like that.
Oh,
okay. You see how the shape is changing?
Yeah.
I want to grab those 2 points, I want to bring them in.
Yeah.
Now we've got the same kind of round shape over there.
Yeah.
And pretty much we're good to go. With that history still on, we're going to take this one.
Mirror.
We're going to mirror it over 0.
Yeah.
Enter.
Yeah.
To there.
Yeah.
And so remembering we can still change this curve.
Oh.
Okay, so we can move this curve in, out, we can play with it a little bit. We're going to cap these 2 items. Now be careful. So this is, I'm going to call this ring step 2, new layer.
Yeah.
Ring step 2.
Yeah.
Oops, and my caps lock is on obviously, my apologies. I'm going to grab everything. I'm going to go to change object layer. Okay. So far we're happy with this and everything still has history. It means we can play with it a little bit. What we've got going on here, we've got a little bit of a slip happening there. So, so we moved one of the curves by mistake. Not we. When we say we, I'm going to say you did it, but in fact it was me. Right? Okay, so I'm going to turn that off for now. Let's turn our shank back on. Oh, we moved it off there. Goodness me, Control Z. Right, and we should have 2 over each other. We're good to go. Right, so where's our curves? Okay, so can you see that somewhere among moving the curves, I've changed something at the bottom here, which has affected that.
Okay.
So I just want to fix that before we go too much further. So we're going to go inside here. Always remember to check both your views. Okay, so that's fixed again.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good there. We're good there. Pretty much you're nearly ready to just render this ring now. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to copy all of these to my Boolean layer and create a new layer.
Yeah.
History gone. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to copy all of these. Copy to layer here.
Yeah.
Copy objects to this layer. I'm going to turn off all the other layers.
Yeah.
So we don't get confused about which layer we're on. Now we can work over here and we can turn off the curves layer. So what will happen now, when I cap this, because I want to get a solid cap on there, watch the warning we're going to get.
Cap.
Oh, cap works with history now. Let's cap the other side. Cap and cap. Alright, so those are all capped. We can join them at the surface. Yep.
I kind of forget what's the command cap for.
To close the holes. Didn't you just see it happen? So watch here. So there's a hole on the top here. I want to close that hole.
Oh, right.
So if the hole is planar, I can type the word cap and it will close the hole.
Okay.
Okay. Then I'm right clicking to repeat the command.
Yeah.
Same on that side. This side it's telling me that it's got a problem. It can't cap it because something's not planar. So when I go cap over here, it's telling me there's an error, unable to cap the object. The object had some problems. Right? Okay, so I'm going to, for these objects here, I'm going to go to the history. I'm going to go history purge because I don't want to move it anymore.
Yeah.
And press enter. So these items no longer have history. We've got to start working on the cleanup process.
What's the history?
Purge is get rid of the history. I no longer want the history. If I move this curve now, it's not updating anymore. So I'm happy with where I am now. Let's grab the curve. Previously when we were working on this curve, if I moved that, the sweeps would update.
But
because I did history purge, there's no more history. I just deleted all the history.
But if
for this item.
But if you move, they're still moving.
It's not. The curve is moving, but the shank is no longer moving with the curve.
Oh.
Okay? Because
But
the shank had history. Its sweep had history with the curve. So when we move the curve, the sweep would do itself again.
Yes.
I've run a history purge now. So let's
Yeah.
go Control Z to get rid of the history purge. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Okay, where's the curve? Okay, just Control Z some more to get rid of the history curve. Oh, okay. So I'm going to do this slowly. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got the ring step over here. Inside of this one, when I move this curve,
your shank moves.
the shank moves.
Okay.
If I grab these items
Yeah.
and I run history purge,
Yeah.
okay, that's it. History is
Okay.
purged. Now these things, the curves don't mean anything. I can move that curve, I can do what I like, nothing happens anymore.
Okay.
In this case, I want that. Right?
Okay.
I do want it because I want to start moving these things around and fixing them up and doing some cuts on them. Okay, so in our world, you need a planar curve to do this. So I'm going to grab these two and then scale them just a little bit like this. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to draw a line through here.
Yeah.
And draw a line like that from there to there. Take this and this. No worries, no worries, no worries.
What time is Beck's thing?
What's Beck's thing? Normally they do it like tea time. 10, 11ish, yeah. Alright, so when I cap these,
Yes.
one side is still open, but the other side is not. I'll show you what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
left side is still open.
So I'm going to cap this one.
Yeah.
Right click and cap.
Yeah.
So now that's capped. I've got to cap these again.
Yeah.
Because we went Control Z a few times. So cap
Yeah.
that again, cap that again. Alright, so we're pretty much ready where we want it to be with this item. We've only got the little problem under the bottom here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to duplicate the edge, or I'm going to draw a circle. Doesn't really matter. Draw another circle. Come out until we snap there.
Middle. Okay.
Okay, now I want to cut this away with that curve. So I'm going to take that and split.
Okay. What's the difference between split and explode? Explode?
Well, explode is going to explode this into 100,000 pieces. Split is only going to cut this piece off.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like a bomb.
Okay.
A bomb explodes a building into hundreds of thousands of pieces. Split just cuts the window out.
Oh, okay. What about trim?
What about trim?
I
Trim
said
is for curves. It's for curves.
So trim is for curves.
Yep.
Split is for solid items.
Yep. I'm going to show you a different way to solve the capping problem. I'm going to draw a little line over here.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're over your items like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Grab both of these. I've got to go backwards a bit. My apologies. So there's a single item skin, yes. So these don't want to cap. The reason they don't want to cap is because in the sweep, this end got bent a little bit, and a cap only works when something's 100% straight. So we're going to make these 100% straight by splitting them. Okay, so we're going to grab those two. We're going to split them with a dead straight line. Okay, we're going to throw away these pieces. Now that means that is 100% straight now. So if you cap this item, you see that it now closed it and there's no more errors. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm going to boolean them. Okay, because I want them to fit on the finger rail.
Okay.
So I'm going to extrude this item. First time you've seen this command.
Extrude.
Okay. So you can take any curve and you can make it fat.
Okay.
All right. New command.
Extrude.
You follow that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to cut away the bottom of these to make them round.
Yeah.
New command. I want you to practice these tonight.
Yeah.
Boolean difference.
Boolean.
Boolean difference.
Boolean difference. I thought the one we make a boolean.
Done a split. So Boolean
difference.
I want to take these and I want to cut them with this one. Okay, so now when I delete that, these are nice and round. They're sitting on, sorry.
Can we try again?
Okay, so follow along. You want to cut this off.
Yes.
And it must still be a solid. After we cap this, It's now solid. It's closed in every direction. If I split it, I'm going to make it open. So I can no longer use split. I have to use Boolean. All right?
Because cap can't cap anything
that's curved, correct.
So that's why we can't use split.
We cut it straight so that we can cap it to make a solid.
Yes.
And now we're going to use Boolean. So Boolean will cut solids with each other.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
but why we use extrude?
Because I need a solid to cut a solid. This is a curve. I can't cut a solid with a curve. I need a solid to cut a solid.
Okay, so that's why we create extrude.
100%. Right.
Okay.
So we're going to grab that item and that item.
Can we start from extrude, please? Sorry.
No, literally, just type the word extrude.
Oh, that will come up?
That's it. Bang.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to grab that item and that item, and we're going to Boolean difference. There's a shortcut for it.
Yeah.
BD.
BD, Boolean difference.
For Boolean difference.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to grab that. Watch what happens to the inside now.
Okay. That one.
Bang, gone.
Oh,
so now this is perfectly on the finger size for us.
Okay.
And that ring, for most intents and purposes, is done. There's a little bit of cleanup work has to be done on it, so we're going to do that. Yeah.
Why you do extrude? So then we know I'm going to put this size, isn't it? Because when you do extrude, right? How can they know I need to make it this big or this big?
The extrude is the curve, and the distance is how much you want.
Oh,
okay, so you need to really follow the command line when you're doing this. It's every single command in the whole Rhino is exactly the same. It has options on the command line. You can type a value and you have options. So I can just move the mouse as much as I want. It doesn't really matter in this case how big I make it, because I'm just using it as a
because they follow the curve.
Yeah. If you want, okay, so if you had a polygon in the middle of that, and let's make it inscribed. Okay, so now you've got a star.
Okay, right. Got it.
Right. So any curve you can just extrude.
Okay.
I'm nervous to use extrude because it's a very mucky command. It makes bad geometry, but for now we need it because we need to cut away the bottom of those two solids.
Okay.
Right. We've already done the solid with the Boolean, with the Boolean difference.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could go back now. If you look over here, you can see you've got slightly mushy things going on there. So you should probably go back to the first layer over here where you were happy with your shank step 1.
Yes.
You can see that it wasn't 100% right. There was a couple of issues on the inside there. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, just it's a quick and a dirty thing, we're going to do that extrude again. So I'm going to grab these items, these two, and cap them. Unable to cap, we do not have, so you capped on the top or not?
We did.
Yes, we did. Are they touching at the bottom? Yep, so can we join them? Yep. So what do we have now? Okay, so that's joined and that's joined, so we're all good. Actually, at this point, you're pretty much ready to start giving it a wash mesh.
Yes.
Oh, that broke something. Okay, so you're pretty much ready to give it a wash mesh.
Yes.
And check with the setter, are we ready to set this ring?
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to hold this ring exactly where it is because we've actually made a mistake over here. All right. You can see inside the shank here, it's not quite what we're after.
Yeah.
So I'm going to dump in one. Okay. We know that we're happy with this at the top. We know that they're capped. We know that they're solids. We know that pretty much we're okay here, except that this doesn't want to cap. All right. So I grab that item and I type cap. It's saying, nope, I don't want to cap because this side is not straight. How do we fix straight things?
How do we fix straight things?
How do we make things straight? We just did it before. No, we take a line and we cut through it.
Right? Okay.
But for now, let's grab that one. And we've got our history is on. We mirror that one over 0 again.
Yes.
Okay. And then we mirror both of them, remembering that we're working. Which one were we working on? If I take that one and I move it, what happens? Because we had history.
Okay.
All right. So let's have a look at the inside of our shank. Pretty much, I think that's where we want it to be. All right. So now we've got that problem of the inside of the shank is gone. We can grab both these guys and we can mirror them again over 0 to here.
Yes.
You might have accidentally moved something in the curvatures. So now the inside of the shank is fixed, outside of the shank is fixed, and we need to mirror this guy over the other side. Mirror, 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 mirror. Through there. And your ring is just about done.
Yeah.
Right, so at this point you double check with the customer. Is the design more or less right? Is this what we were after?
Yeah.
And if the customer is not right and you've got to change the finger size, you're going to go back in your layer system.
Okay.
You're going to go, oh, all right, so they didn't want this one. Let's delete this layer. Let's go back to where we were happy with the shank, where we had history.
Okay.
We'll go back even more to the very first shank and let's start tweaking a few things.
Okay.
Long lesson today, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, you already put the line. You're happy. It's called you know, when you move the curve and the shank doesn't move, you call it
history purge.
Yes.
I did it on this layer. Those layers have still got all their history.
All right.
Okay.
But why you change this? Does this one change?
Because I turned this off. I didn't. That layer has got its own geometry inside it. See there?
Oh.
Now there's two lots of. If I go inside here, there's two lots of geometry over each other.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to save that while I was happy with it.
Okay.
Then I moved on to another one. Am I happy with it? If I wasn't happy, I can come in and delete these two layers and I go back all the way to the beginning.
Okay.
So I take this layer, I delete it.
Oh.
And then I delete this layer and I can go back to this layer where I was happy. So let's turn these two off.
They're not connected at
all.
all.
I was happy at this time and I had a curvature, but at this time I hadn't even started drawing the collet yet.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
So this is like saving your steps as you go along.
Yeah, I think so.
So you can see even in the early stages here, where I said I was happy, I wasn't. See that error we made in the beginning?
Yeah.
It's already here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So at this point, I can go on to the curves, change the curves, fix the ring, then move forward to adding my collet, then move forward. So this gives you some flexibility when the customer says, oh, you know, it looks too sharp, it looks too pointy. You can go backwards.
Okay.
And then you can go forwards again.
Okay.
All right?
But if we change something here.
If you broke it here, it's broken all the way through.
Yeah, so that means it doesn't help at all.
It doesn't help at all. This is like having a whole nother file of Rhino. You could have just as well said this, save as step 1. And then save as step 2, save as step 3.
Okay.
And then if step 3 and step 4 wasn't good, you can come back and open step 1.
Right. Yeah, so step 2, step 3 doesn't work because step 1 is not happening.
So GemVision uses a layer, a save box. It's just layers. Instead of making a new file for every step, you can go copy everything onto a new layer, turn off that layer and start working on this layer. And if I didn't like what I did, I can go backwards.
The before layer.
To the before layer.
Oh, makes sense.
All right. So keep all your curves on one layer, your diamond on another layer. So like right now, if I didn't want to see this with a diamond, I just turn the diamond on and off. So that diamond's on that layer.
Yeah.
I was happy with that diamond, so that layer I can lock.
Okay.
I don't want to change or play with that layer anymore.
Okay.
All right.
Got it.
So at the moment, you got pretty much what you need over here.
Yes.
I would have, from this point, I would have probably take this, if we're happy and the customer wants to go ahead with it, I would go to wash mesh. I might take, I think that these look like they need to be a little bit fatter, in fact. So the scale manipulator, make it a little bit fatter.
Okay.
Okay. And then probably at this point you've got enough over here to get a sign off from the customer. This is what I wanted. I want to go ahead with this thing.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. All good? I'm going to save for here. I'm going to put the video up.
Okay. No problem.
Cheers.
All good.